What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to paint the runners, as I call them. I'm not sure what else to call them, on the C63. Actually, I'm not going to paint it. We're going to vinyl wrap it. Never touched this stuff before in my life. How hard can it be? So as you can see here, it just looks pretty bad. I think the guy before me tried to paint it and it just didn't go over so well. Yeah, it just looks real bad. So I'd like to try to take care of this. I'm going to tape off the paint and only expose this up here and then sand it down. This is my plan of attack, at least. We'll see what has to change. Sand this down probably with 60, then to 80, and then maybe 120. And then I'm going to wrap it with vinyl. And I got this off Amazon. Excuse the mess. This vinyl wrapping here, I just went with a black, satin black. Comes with some tools. I don't know if I'll need it. I have no idea. I might put in my own tools just to maybe change it, make it look a little bit better. But this is what I got. So I'm just gonna get started and show you how it goes. What I'm trying to do is get it seated underneath this gap without harming anything. What I may do is get a plastic thing. It's a razor blade, but I'll use the back side of it to try to, yeah, there we go, see? Don't try this at home, kids. Try to tuck it under there, right? Yeah. So I'm doing here is getting this, let's push this down, getting this tucked in under here so that I can sand without touching the paint. And next, see all these scratches? I'm gonna do a detailing video on how to get rid of all these scratches for good. Oh yeah, you can really see it. I can already tell what some of you might be telling me is, Greg, dude, do you know that this thing actually comes off? Yes, if you pull up on this, I mean, you can start removing this whole thing. You can kind of see it popped up, right? My strategy here is, and then you gotta push it down and clip it in. My strategy is, number one, I know it's been out in the sun, it's super brittle, it's plastic. I'm afraid it's gonna break, number one. Number two, with it on the car, I actually feel like I might have some more control. I mean, this thing is, what, maybe 8 feet long, and I just don't want it to be unwieldy and lose my pressure. And I feel that once I start laying vinyl, I can get it nice and tight and be able to pull on it to be able to get it nice and smooth and taut. So I feel like I have more leverage with it on the car, and I'm just gonna be extra careful with the paint. So yes, I do know that it comes off. I'm just afraid of a couple things, that the end result won't be as good. Something will break and then I'm gonna have to replace it, which I already looked at replacing it and I couldn't find anything readily available. So without any more broken pieces, like I had on the engine, let's just keep it on the car, work with it there, and go from there. I think if it did come off, or if I did take it off, I'd be able to wrap it around it a little easier for a cleaner install. But if the tabs break, then I can't reinstall it, and I'm worse off than if I would have just left it. So that's my strategy. I do know it comes off, guys. So if you feel like taking that on, be my guest. Let me know how it goes in the comments below. But this is how I'm gonna do it today. All right, got it all taped up. And with any painting project, interior or exterior, the prep work takes the absolute longest. So I just wanna zoom in here on what I did. I just tried to get it as tight in here as possible. Now I'm realizing it doesn't really matter. It's this top part before this lip that becomes the problem. So I'd much rather be conservative and cover this lip than expose the paint. But, so I started trying to tuck the tape here and then kind of realizing what I was doing, I could go much faster by taking it down here. Just using some 60 grit sandpaper. Just folded it over, nothing fancy. I'm just gonna start trying to smooth this out because I don't want to see any of the texture that this has and some of the flaky pieces coming through the vinyl, and I'm not sure if it would, but the last thing I want to do is to have regrets about putting it on top of this without making it smooth. So I feel like it's a easy thing to do to make sure that it's done right, even if someone doesn't see it. Deep down, I know that it would be done right or wrong. Was able to get the 60 grit all the way down, and then I followed it up with 120 right there. I did everything by hand. I'm sure you could do something a little bit more aggressive, use some sort of tool. It does look like, I mean, this is smooth, believe it or not. So I'm very happy with all this. I'm gonna take some compressed air, blow all this out before I start putting any sort of vinyl down on top. Again, I've never done this before. I'm just going off what kind of makes sense in my head, but this is looking really good. I'm very happy with it. I'm gonna take the tape off now and blow it with some air, get it all nice and clean, just do one final check, maybe touch up a few spots, and start laying vinyl. All right, so it's another day. I was able to blow off everything. I cleaned it up, and let's lay some vinyl. Again, I've never done this before, but I think I need to use some heat, take my time. I guess, let's see how this goes. So I do have a heat gun. I'm not sure how much to use, if any, but I got this. Okay, I'm gonna cut this part off, but this is just 3M wrap film. It looks like it's a 2080 series, sticky on the back, so I'm just gonna cut this piece off and start it down here. Easy auto wrap. Yeah, we'll see how easy this is. I wish they wouldn't do that so I don't get adhesive on it, but. I got the whole thing wrapped. I now need to trim this up. Unfortunately, I can still see some of the lower texture below it. This is what I was trying to avoid, and I just didn't accomplish it. This is unfortunate because it wasn't even that thick. I had sanded it smooth. Now the color obviously looks way better. It's all uniform now, but unfortunately I can still see texture, and so I'm not super thrilled. So I might at some point strip this off and redo it. The top looks much better, but you can still see texture. I think you have to get up pretty close to see it like we are now, but still I'm not 100% happy with it. But let me trim this up and, you know, do the other side. This is a learning experience, so I'm not too upset. I might try to do some of the chrome blackout trim because this is getting a little oxidized, but hey, for now, let me trim this up and I'll show you the final product. Well, I have to say this actually worked out to be a lot easier than I thought. I ended up just cutting it right along the seam here, and it just kind of folded over here. So this actually worked out really well. I'm just not happy being able to see the texture underneath, but overall, from up here, it's, well, yeah, gosh, I guess you can see it. I was gonna say can't really see too much of it, but it's smooth, it feels good, and yeah, I just cut it right along the edge. I ended up using a brand new blade in here, and this worked like cutting it like butter. So I recommend that. I did apply some heat to do that. I'm not so sure I would do it. I think I got a little too hot because then it started to bubble just a tick. This was good for about 10 seconds and then it wasn't, and that's pretty cheap. But what do you expect? This actually has built my confidence, which is what it's all about. And maybe, just maybe, I'll black out the chrome just because it's not permanent and I can always undo it. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for subscribing. Please hit that like button. Having all you guys watch has just been really cool to see the views go up, and just kind of helps build my confidence too. But if you guys have any questions, I'll throw the link of where I bought this down below. It's from Amazon. Super cool. Did a little bit of research. You just got to pick what type of sheen you want, what color, whatever else. So I'm gonna go do the other side. I've kind of learned a few things along the way. Don't get it too hot, where to cut it, how to lay it, and sand it a little bit more. Like I was saying before, the prep work is really where it's at. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that video. Please hit that like button, leave a comment. I always love hearing from y'all. Have a great night.